Guys, welcome aboard. My name is Filipi Pires, and today we're gonna talk about the malware hunting using Python as an attack weapon. So let me introduce myself, right? So this is my contact and social medias that we have here, my web page, my Twitter, and GitHub and LinkedIn. So you'd like to send them a message with some questions or to change some acknowledgement. I really appreciate, right?
Let me introduce myself. I'm a principal security engineer at TalkDesk. TalkDesk is a company from Portugal, by the way. It's responsible to provide some contact center as a services, right? They have many customers around the world. And I'm a security research at Senha Segura. Senha Segura, it's a Brazilian company, but they have many customers around the world. They have many products, but the focus here is in a privileged access management, right? So in a PAN, they have a big solutions that you can implement in your trust, a zero trust environment or culture that you can apply in this kind of concept. It's pretty cool. They appears in many different reports like a Gartner, Fornest, and a Coppinger Cole as well. So it's pretty cool, right? So I advocate this awesome project. Hacking is not a crime. The name is pretty clear, right? Because hacking is really not a crime. It's a mindset. It's a creative mind. It's how you can apply your knowledge when you talk about the security or technology. That's my point here. And yes, it's a pretty cool project. You can find many informations in my social media about there, right? And I'm a part of the coordinate team on the DEFCON groups here in São Paulo. And by the way, I'm talking here from Brazil in São Paulo in my small office here in my balcony. By the way, it's a pandemic in this moment, so this is my small office. And I'm instructor of the Hacktivity. It's a Brazilian company. They sell some courses about the penetration testing and many other different courses. And I'm instructor from the malware analysis course in Portuguese language, right? And I'm a instructor and writer and reviewer from these three magazines, Pentest Magazine, Hack90, and Forensic Magazine. And by the way, I record a course of the malware attack hunting based on cyber chain here in Pentest Magazine. You can find there.
Let me talk about our summary or our agenda, right? So today we're going to talk about what is threat brainstorming, what is threat hunting, about the Python code purpose, about this kind of tests that I made in my environment, right? So I will explain something about, I will show you the demo, and in the end of this presentation, I'm open to talk about some questions, right? So first of all, it's important to explain some concepts about what is threat. It's very important because I would like to put all those people on the same page, right? So it's not my definition, it's according to this ISO, right? So 27005, but it's defined as a potential cause of the incident, right? So this is the simple definition that may cause harm to system and organization. It means software attacks or maybe theft of the intellectual property or identity theft, right? So now some sabotage or all information distortion are examples of the information security threats. It means if you see all these things is related to a some software, maybe it's compiled or not, right? Or some apps, it's related to a threat, right? So some potential cost. It's a simple definition about the threat, right? So all these results, or actually, as a result, most of these organizations choose active threat hunting practice. It means the organization need to see more deeply about this kind of threat. It's known or no, and to try improve the defenses mechanism, right? So I would like to bring you some brainstorm. It's important to build this kind of knowledge, right? So when you need to build some research team, we need to improve this. You need to create something related to working with a research of these threats. We need to discovering new kind of attacks, providing the team with a proactive line. It's very important. It's some key. Here we have a key proactive line, but you need to understand more defenses against the advanced threats it means APTs, the related APTs. What is APTs? It's advanced persistent threat, right? Another point is you need to use this kind of offensive techniques. You need to understand more about the vulnerability research, because you need to search some things about the vulnerabilities related to these threats are related to this softwares. You need to develop it of exploit. It's very important, because of course we need to, in your team, you need to have this kind of knowledge about the programming language, right? You need to have one guy or a lady who is responsible to make a reverse engineering, or to see more deeply to intrusion detections. And we have you need to have actually inside of your comp some people with kind of knowledge related to a forensic analysis. Of course, when you talk about the forensics, it's after the incident, But if you have this kind of knowledge, you can improve your development softwares, your skills on development software, your defensive mechanisms, right? So the challenge here is to deliver automated intelligence, the company to gain productive, right? So in the end of the day, I think this is the very important, right? And here I created this kind of not life, but this kind of cycle, right? So because in the beginning we have a threat, after that you need to understand about the known threats and about the unknown threats. This is very important. Why I need to know about the known threats, Filipe? Because it's very important to understand about the behavior, because you improve your knowledge and you have this kind of knowledge. Of course, you can improve, you can have this creative mind, had I mentioned in the beginning of these conversations, right? You can, after that, using your curiosity and to try and find some unknown threats, right? And of course, after that, you can improve. You can generate a report. You can improve your defenses mechanism. You can create, a cyber threat intelligence in your environment, and you can it's strengthening the cyber resilience in your environment. This is a simple life cycle that I create. So, what is threat hunting? It's a simple definition. Again, it's a proactive approach to defense, to the cyber defense with, here is the key, offensive mind. It means the process proactively and interactively searching, through the network to detect and isolate. Here we have two keys, detection and isolation, right? So to detect and isolate advanced threats, this is the key, because I always mention in my talks, I can work with malware analysis, or SOC team or in support teams, but I could have in my mind this kind of knowledge. This is my invite to you, to bring in your mind different thoughts about the threat hunting, right? So more, in the top of tower. It's my idea here. So who is threat hunter? Not who is or what is, or maybe who is, or who is a threat hunter. It's a professional, right? Qualified security guy, or professional to recognize this is the first, and after that to isolate it, and after that to disable a potential APT in your environment using, of course, in manually techniques, or maybe artificial intelligence or another different tools to see and to improve, right? So these people, or the people, actually, these people's can search for a possible internal and or external intruders. Here we have another interesting key, internals, because usually we have in the past the people look at so the external intruders, but now we have an internal intruder. That's a key, important key here, right? So, okay, Felipe. First, you explain about the hunting, about the research. You bring us some thoughts about the new vision. Not a new vision, actually. It's just my thoughts about that, about this actually. And after that, I started to create some Python scripts. I have, of course, some guys to work with together with me to create together these tests. And the purpose of these tests is very simple. The idea is these tests, it was because I already executed, I performed actually, to run Python script to perform a various efficient and detection tests in various endpoint solutions. That's my idea. Do you remember? Mindset, defensive mindset, not defensive mindset, actually. Defensive activities with an offensive mindset. That here is the key, right? So during our demonstrations, and not we, but I will show a defensive security analysis with that offensive mindset, right? Executing two Python scripts responsible for downloading some malwares in our environment, in my lab environment, right? So I executed two simple tests. First test is the first objective um, will be to simulate a target attacks using a Python script to obtain a panoramic view of the resilience presented. It means the idea here is to execute some downloads of in my controlled environment to detect or not what, but how much is efficient the engines responsible to signatures in the endpoint securities and next generation antivirus and machine learning is running these scripts. The idea is to download these artifacts directly in my victim machine and execute this kind of tests. And my idea was to see the behavior of the signatures engines and next generation antivirus engines and machine learning, right? So this is the first purpose. The second purpose is to run more than one Python script with a daily malwares because, of course, I using this Malware Bazaar repository. We have inside of this repository, it's very interesting repository with, it's available to open requests by API, right? So if you try to execute this kind of test, you can download more than 2,000 real malwares in your environment per day. Sometimes you have, I don't know, 1,000 malwares, up, not updated, but um, you know I can upload my malware inside of this repository. So sometimes we have more than 1,000 malwares per day inside of this repository. So you'd like to test you'd like to prove your security endpoint, it's totally possible, right? So here, this is the first code, Python code, right? So the first of all, as you can see here in my code, I just import the library, right? The request and systems and some arguments and JSON and PyZyper, because the idea here is to download a malware. And of course, when you download some malwares from some repository, usually these malwares or this sample or this file comes to your environment in zipped, right? So you need to uncompress this file, right? So this is the first idea here. So I'll be using the SHA 2015-6 hash to download in my environment, as you can see here. So this is a simple program, the download malware sample from Malware Bazaar by abuse.xh or ch. This is the website, right? So here's some parameters that I can set, or like it's a similar flags in using a CLI, right? So first of all, I need to I need to write the hash, as you can see here. And after that, I can unzip this file and download my malware inside my environment, right? So it's very, very simple code to, again, I can set the hash, I can set this flag, right? So the dash s, and I need to write I need to fill the hash, and after that I need to set dash u to unzip, to unzip the download file. Of course, I need to set the password to download in my environment. So right, so here this is the first step that I can show you in using the cyber reason solution. First of all, it's very important to explain to you and everyone. My idea here it's not to prove you what is the best secured endpoint solution, right? Not my idea here. The idea is to bring you this offense, this security testing with a offensive mind, right? This is the purpose of this presentation and this idea, right? Not what is the best solutions. Take a look. It's very important to explain and to be clear for everyone, right? So as you can see here, I set the Python, the binary to execute the binary script in my environment. And after that, I call the script that I show you, and I set -s because I need to set the hash responsible to download this information. And after that, I set this -u because the sample needs to be unzipped, right, in my environment. As you can see here, this is, let me return here. And yes, I need to use the request, of course, to request the access in my environment, right? In my in our Bazaar website, right? So just to be clear. And here, the first test using the Cyber platform, right? So I download this hash, as you can see here in the beginning of the hash. Of course, it's very bigger, but it's that END. As you can see here in Malware Bazaar, it's a WannaCry. It's very known malware. It's a ransomware, by the way. And I download this malware in my environment, as you can see here, and I execute this uncompressed file here. And after that, take a look what happened. The file is blocked. It's very interesting because I don't need to execute themselves in my environment, just to unzip the file inside in my environment. And after that, the engine, do you remember the test? The engine responsible to signatures detected this malware, right? So as you can see in the log, the malware, it was blocked and detected. It's very cool. And the second, let me check here. Yes, this is the second test that I did, but in the SOFO solutions. It's another security endpoint solutions. The same thing here, I just changed the malware, right? I'm using another hash, as you can see here. By the way, I like to use many ransomwares because it's very dangerous, right? And here it's another. I think it's a patch or no patch, if I remember correctly. But you know, I download here, as you can see, and after that, take a look at this. The engine responsible to detect the no malware. It works very cool, very well, and it was blocked, right? So let's see here the second code. Python code using in a different way here. As you can see here, it's different because if you remember in the beginning, the explanation when I talked to you about the second code or the second objective, the idea is to download a daily breach malwares, right? It means every day the Malware Bazaar receive many malwares from the community, and in the end of the days, the Malware Bazaar generate malware branch malwares, and you can download all those malwares inside your environment to test themselves, right? So here you can write your API, provide Malware Bazaar, and of course, and here you using the request Python code, and you can unzip your file, actually it's not a second, it's the continue, sorry, it's a continue of this code, as you can see here, 20 for a line, and after that, let me show you, it's 24/6 because I edit this code just to show it. This is the request using the import request library, right? So this is the API URL to using in our test, right? So, and here I execute in my environment, but using or to try explore more about the CrowdStrike testing, right? So here, as you can see, I execute the same test, but in this case, is something different happens. As you can see, I edit my actually my code and using another name here, Nezut Security Labs, and I download the sample here, the hash, and I am using the downloading an IAM package. It means I uncompress this file here, as you can see. But CrowdStrike works a different way, because CrowdStrike just works with a real-time execution. It means I need to execute the malware inside my environment, and after that, they will execute their engines in your environment. They don't have any, in that, maybe on in that time they didn't have the signatures engines, right? So maybe now when I'm talking in this presentation, maybe they are improved this, but when I did this test, and as you can see here in October 2020, they didn't, right? So that's here very important. So here the second code, sorry for that. So here, as you can see here, from date time, import date and time delta, right? This is just import some functions from this library, right? And here I import another libraries from this another things. And let's see here, I using the same cybersecurity labs, the print, that to be cool, and using the password to unzip the file, right? And here the key, right? So I can set the data to download. It means I can set the specifically date. You can set here the specifically day that I would like to download in my environment. For example, if you would like to try download another day that already passed, for example, for my day, not at the main day, I can write here. You write the correctly start time, as you can see here, right? But if I don't set this information, the day responsible to be downloaded in the last day that I receive many, daily malware batches, right? As you can see here. So again, I can using data here. By the way, it's in the not the Python script. It's in Python 3 actually, but we have another different strings that I used here, and I will download using the API. As you can see here, take a look. This here is the day, specifically day, right? And I set the name in the malware batches, and I will request using the malware bazaar dash download, as you can see here, and here is the date file, right? So as you compare, if you compare this, both of them is different, because here I request the API, right? Dash v1, but I set the hash. Do you remember? Let me return here. I need to set the correct hash, right? So this is the important thing here. So checksum the hash, right? So I need to fill the hash. And here in the second, I using in different ways. I need to set the day, or if I don't set the day, it's a full day, right? So here I will download the zip in my environment. I will complete download it, and I will uncompress. And as you can see here, daily malware batch unpackaged. It means all those malwares, it will be what will be in my environment, right? So here it's very important thing to explain. So let's suppose we have, do you remember, more than 200 malwares in your environment? It's like outbreak attack, right? So you can imagine if you receive some like a similar DOS from the malwares, it's, just let's suppose again. Okay, so I execute this in this cyber reason environment, as you can see here. So this is the second testing using a Python script here, and the name it's a malware slash malware underscore, sorry, download.python, right? So download using the data, as you can see here, it's September 10th. Download using this. As you can see here, the folder is different, right? It's not API verse 1, right, of v1. It's different. It's MB, the API, doc abuse, doc h, oops, sorry, and dash downloads, and here is the date. And after that, the download is completed, and saving that data sets completely, and data sets, because we have many folder malwares. Here's unpacked, as you can see here in this folder. And take a look this, what is the behavior. And of course, because if you receive some multi-break attack, of course you have a high CPU, high memory in your environment, because you have many samples here, new informations in your hard drive, and of course the engine needs to work. So I have good results here, not so good, but just a good, because the cyber reason work with engine, but it's in my test cyber reason it was the best, right? And after that, as you can see here, I execute the same test in Power Bazaar underscore daily. And as you can see here, it's another day, because here is 28th September. It's different this day, as you can see, 18 days after. And take a look at this. The performance of the CPU, it was different, because we have many engines, as you can see here. For my opinion, it's a Filipi Pires opinion. It's more difficult because we have many engines works, as you can see here in this print, and the results is not so good in that time, right? And of course, all those tests, guys, I reported to all those vendors, and CrowdStrike and the Sophos and Cyber Reason. I have very good talks with the Cyber Reason. I talk with a CSO from Cyber Reasons, and the team from Cyber Reasons, very, very cool. I have some talks with a Sophos and CrowdStrike, not so good, but anyway, it's a simple test, and my idea is to try improve the security sensors, right? So here, some spoiler alert, and I will finish my presentations, because here I'm using another Python code. It's a 30 Python code, as you can see here. I import the OS socket and sub process and threading. So maybe if you are an offensive guy, you can suppose what this means in this case. So as you can see here, I set the socket using an AF init. It means my idea here is to try gain the access in my victim machine, as you can see here. So as you can see here, I set this kind of process in Windows System 32 to call the CMD, right? It's a spoiler. Why is a spoiler, Filipe? Because I have a talk to explain all those attacks. It's just a spoiler, right? So here, this test that I did, I just show you some information to you. This test is to us realizing a Counter-Strike, as you can see here. So I will pass the idea here. This is the IP from this machine. The solutions work here. In this case, it's Counter-Strike. As you can see, the system information, system information about this solution. And let me pass more here. You can see all those informations that you have here. You have some PowerShell scripts and Python, shell.python here. As you can see, this is the file that I will using in my next presentation. This is just a fail a spoiler alert, right? So I set the configurations here. I will pass more. All those configurations about the best practice. It was enable and aggressive mode, by the way. So should be detect my simple Python shell reverse code, right? And let me show you here, as you can see, all those process, and it was enabled in my victim machine. And after that, take a look where I did in my demonstrations here. And I just open my, using a netcat here, using a port 77, right? And this is my attacking machine, and I will execute a simple attack here. I will call this Python shell, and what happened in my victim machine here? Maybe nothing happened here because we didn't see any blockage, but bam, we have a shell in my victim machine. As you can see here, this is a good spoiler alert because we have another talk to explain more details about that. Take a look at this. We have the control of our victim machine. And let's see here. I will went to the desktop, and after that I created this simple file, right? So echo, you lose very creative, as you can see here, right? So because the victim machine lose. Okay, so type the file that I'm create here, because I'm manipulating, because I have a shell here. I have a shell. I have a control of my victim machine here. It's here because before didn't have here. And as you can see here, the file is here. And after that, finish my presentation because it's just only a few spoiler, right? So guys, and again, thank you so much for being here with me during this conversation. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And if you have any question, please let me know and let's talk and keeping hacking. And if you have, contact me always.